All right, hello and welcome. My name is Shauna. This is our Fit Essentials Basics class. I'm going to be guiding you through this session. If you are wearing any kind of blood flow restriction training bands, we've already added air, so go ahead and do that now. And when you're ready, let's go ahead and come on up. We're going to start seated today. Going to bring a chair on over. As you come to seated, make a point to kind of come right to the edge of your seat. Feet flat on the ground, sitting up nice and tall. We're going to start with our seated cat-cow. So we're going to bring our hands down to the bottoms of the thighs. Just kind of cover the knees with your fingertips. And then as we breathe in, we're going to draw the shoulders forward, bow the head down, pull your belly in towards your spine. And then as you go to breathe out, lift the chest, squeeze the shoulder back, and just lift your head like you're going to look up to where the ceiling meets the wall. Good. And then breathe in. Rounding, chin in, breathe out, sit up nice and tall, squeeze the shoulders back. You can also slide the hands up the thighs as you breathe out. A couple more times. Breathing in, slide the hands back down, bow the head down, breathing out, sitting tall. Lift that chest. Beautiful. One more time. And release from there. Good job. From here, we're going to make our way up to standing. Either push off your legs or pull yourself up. We're going to be practicing some monster walks next. Just going to go one round of this. See if I can get my head in the scene here. All right, so first round of monster walks, we're going to be going forward and back, and then we're going to do a little bit of some movement through the hips, and then we're going to be practicing side to side walks. So when you're ready, when we think monster walk, we're just meant to be a little bit playful with it. But I like to take a wide base stance, so wider than you normally walk, and then bend into your knees a little bit. Draw your belly in, reach your arms nice and wide. And then when you're ready, you're going to step from your heel, roll towards that big toe, and then just imagine that you got like a little grandkid around or a little neighbor friend, and you're just kind of being silly, pretending you're a monster. You can either stay low for a backwards walk, stand tall for a backwards walk, or if you're like, I don't feel comfortable walking backwards, just turn it around. And then you'll start again. Squeeze those shoulders back. Keeping that stomach drawn in nice and strong. Very good. You can walk backwards. Try to step from the ball of the foot, rolling back into the heel. Wonderful. Very good. All righty. When you finish that, go ahead and rest. Come all the way up to standing. If you have that chair that you use nearby, you can use that to balance just a little bit. We're going to work a little bit of some leg swings next, opening up to the hip. So standing up nice and tall, starting with your left leg. You're going to point the foot in front of your body and then lift the foot and glide it back. Make sure we don't arch the spine, but just a little extension. Point the foot and glide it straight back. Looking to keep the toe pointing forward throughout. Point and glide, point and glide. Good. Couple more. And if you want to look to get a little bit more fluid, you can just start to glide it forward, glide it back. Good. Nice. And resting there. In between sides, give those hips a little bit of a break, setting the feet, rocking those hips side to side. And then we'll do the same thing on your right leg. Very good. All right. Squeeze those shoulders back. Balance here as needed. Now your right foot. Point it forward, lift and glide back. We don't want to turn that toe away. So forward point, and then keep it pointing forward as you glide it back. Forward and back, up and back. Stomach drawn in throughout. We don't want to overarch that spine. Just more looking to move through the hip. And if you can get a little bit more fluid, glide here. A couple more times. Very good. And resting there. All right. And then we're going to work a lateral step. So standing tall. If you feel comfortable with your lateral walk, you can go back to that monster stance. If lateral walking is a challenge for you, then just stay tall. So for the monster walk, I'd be nice and low or standing tall. Up to you. We're going to take another 30 seconds here. As I step wide, I'm opening my arms. I step in, I close the arms in front. Wonderful. Wide step, close step. Nice. Stomach strong. Awesome. More times. Making your way back to your starting position and resting there. Nice work. All right, let's grab a short drink of water. That's kind of our little bit of a warm up there. Get a little bit of blood flow going into the body. And now we're going to take a little stretch break. So first stretch we're going to do is going to be our hip flexor opener. If you sit quite a bit through the day, our hip flexors get tight. So we need to open those up. Start with your left leg. You're going to keep your feet hip width apart. Step that left leg back. Draw the belly in. Reach those arms out wide to the side. And then we're going to cross the arms over the shoulders. I like to call them our I Dream of Genie arms. Breathe in, lift the chest. I want you to rock into that back hip. So shift those hips forward and then turn your torso, including your head and neck, towards that lead leg. Should be towards your right side. And then once you get into that nice gentle rotation, breathing in through the nose, out through the mouth, twice more. When you're ready, gradually unwind from there. Lower those arms down. Walk that back leg in. And we're going to do the same thing on the second side. Chest tall. Foot steps back. Lowering back into that heel. Reach those arms wide. Then cross them over your shoulders. Pushing the hips back. Driving those hips forward. Keeping anchored through your front leg. And then turning your torso towards your left side. Trying to flex that trail glute to invite the front of the hip to open. Looking over that left shoulder, breathing in and out 2 to 3 times. And gradually unwind from there. Very good. Walking that back leg in. And then one more stretch before we get started. Our next series, we're going to go a hand on the hip here. Little bend in those knees. We're going to stretch our side body. Bring the hand up to the shoulder. And then just gradually, if you can reach up to overhead, we're going to bend the body to the side, looking up to that hand. Good. Come back down to that same side, kind of bend towards that arm, and then gently bending away, breathing out. If your balance feels steady, looking up towards that palm. Very nice. One more time. Breathing in, bending towards that side, and then reach up nice and long. See if your body wants to stretch a little bit more into that side. And release from there. Very good. In between sides, a little side step and arm swing. Watching that you don't slap your hands against your chair, anything you have in your space. Wonderful. And then we'll stretch the second side. So if you tend to be someone that has a lot of low back stiffness, there's a lot of different stretches that we can do for the low back, but one that we want to do for the low back as well that we don't often think about is that side stretch. So reaching up, peering up to that hand. Good. Breathing in as you lower down, bend towards that side. We'll go twice more. Reaching, palm down, midline strong. Good. So all the tissue of the lower back, the fascia, it's like saran wrap that overlaps and wraps up your muscles. It's interconnected to the saran wrap of the other muscles. Our nerves and our blood vessels run through that saran wrap. And when we stretch out that side body, it helps reduce the tension of the muscles of that lower spine. Very good. Walking those feet in, we're going to do a standing toe touch next. Draw that stomach in, hands on the thighs, chin to the chest, and just nice and smooth, sliding the hands down towards the feet. And a few nice deep breaths in the back of your body. One more time. And rest. Push through the legs, coming back to the top, and then meet me back in the chair. Getting ready for our first series, we're going to have upwards of 3 rounds on this next one. And our first exercise is going to be our seated leg extensions. So you want to come right to the edge of the chair, sitting up on those sit bones, ensuring your feet can be nice and flat. From here, if you can hold on with the hands, you can. Draw the stomach in. We're going to start with your left leg, picking that foot up, and then extending that leg straight out. Bend and extend. Good. Breathing in as you bend, breathing out as you extend. Fantastic. Up and down. Those thighs to fire. Did this at the end of our session earlier on in the week, and now we're going to do it at the start of the session. 3, 2, 1, and resting on that leg. Get ready for that second side. So readjust that posture as needed. I know I started to slouch down, and then right leg this time for you, up and back. Notice as I kick my leg out, instead of having just like a floppy foot, I try to engage that ankle and pull the toes back towards me. So keep that ankle engaged, up and back. Good. 10 more seconds. Breathing in as you bend, breathing out as you extend, getting that good motion through the knees. Keeping those joints warm. We're getting ready for a little bit of squatting practice coming up. And resting on that side. All right, if you know and feel confident with that standing knee to elbow, you're welcome to stand up for this next one. But we're going to show it from seated for this first round. So you're going to breathe in, reach those arms out to the side. And then when you're ready, we're going to bring your one arm over towards that opposite thigh, trying to lift that knee up, seeing if you can make contact with that elbow towards that opposite knee. Good. And then when you go back that seated position, really squeeze those shoulders back behind you. Up and down, back, drawing that stomach in as you lift that knee up. Breathing in as you open, breathing out gently as you pull the leg towards the arm. Very good. Squeeze the shoulders. Sometimes it's amazing how much we work our upper body just holding our arms up. Whew. I know mine are starting to burn a little bit. Maybe one more time on each side. Last one. And rest. Good. If you did do that from standing, if your chair is nearby, go ahead and join me back to seated. And now we're going to do our seated forward fold. So hands on the thighs, chin to the chest, and just gently slide on down. Bow the head down and now try to focus your breath. Looking to expand the back of the rib cage. See how deep you can breathe. One more time. And on that next inhale, go ahead and walk your hands up, making your way up to seated. And then we're going to come to standing all the way up. Nice. If your water glass is nearby, go ahead and grab a drink. We're going to be working our squats next. If you're strong in your squats, you can just go freestyle without any assist. If that squatting is a challenge, join me behind the chair here. We're going to use this chair as an assist to get a little bit deeper. So set your feet so you have just a gentle toe out, feet about hip width apart. Draw that stomach in, squeeze those shoulders back. And then when you're ready, you can hold on with the upper body, keeping that chest tall, pushing your knees wide, sending your hips back, and then drive through those feet, pushing straight down into the floor to come back up to the top. Very nice. Breathing in, sitting back, push the knees out nice and wide. Wonderful. Use the arms as much as or little as you need. Good. Coming down, pushing the knees out. Awesome. Pushing up, up. I want you to feel like your whole foot is planted on the ground. Down, down, down. Engage that belly as you pull up and try to kind of find all those muscles of the pelvic floor. Like you're trying to stop your body from going to the bathroom, holding nice and strong through those smaller muscles and resting there. Fantastic. All right, very good. If you have a light dumbbell, our next exercise is going to be our dumbbell row, working that upper body position. This will be our last exercise of the series. So I'm going to use my chair to assist this dumbbell row. If you want to mirror me, let's hold the weight in your left hand. Draw the stomach in. I'm going to bow forward, supporting my right hand on the chair. I'm going to step my left foot back just slightly, a little stagger stance. Now we're going to reach down. If you know that row, go for it. We're going to reach forward, pull that elbow nice and high to the ceiling. Breathing in as you reach, breathing out as you row. Once you know the motion, turn your head so you're looking straight down, either towards the hand that's supporting you, or possibly you could also look at the foot of that front leg. Nice. Good, Diane. That breathing consistent. One more time. And pause. Set the weight down. Stay where you are, but go ahead and stand up for a second. Shake it out. You need a gentle twist side to side. Loosen up that low back a little bit. And then we're going to get ready for the dumbbell row on the second arm. I'm just going to spin my chair around. All righty. So now it's going to be your right side. Right foot steps back, draw the belly in. Left hand supports down. Grab your weight, and when you're ready, reach forward, draw it high. Nice. Make sure we don't lose that head and neck forward, so pull the chin in. Breathing in, breathing out. You just don't want to hold the breath. Doesn't have to all be perfect, but just try to keep that breathing fluid. And then focusing on that elbow. How high can we draw that elbow up above us? Up above the torso. Last one. And resting there. Awesome job. Walk it up. Stand it up. And then we're going to make our way back to seated for round 2. Starting with those leg extensions. So remember, as we come to seated, we want to sit right on the edge of the chair. Pull those shoulders back, and we're going to start with your left leg. Go ahead and pick that foot up, and here we go. Bend and extend. Got to mention it today, but we did talk about it the other day. These also could be done with ankle weights on, but make sure you keep them nice and light so you don't overstrain. Typically sell like 2.5 pounders. I've also seen people get fancy with those like a longer elastic bands. You can tie it to the bottom of the chair and then put the band around your ankle. It's a little bit finicky, but it works. And rest. Same thing on the second leg. There's also benefit of just moving your body weight. Pick up that second leg, and here we go. Extend, bend, firing that quad. Nice. Way to just keep that mobility through the knee. When the joint moves, it keeps the fluid going. It keeps the lymph going. It helps to take out any inflammation. Keep it all nice and strong. Nice. Couple more. Woo! And rest. Fantastic. Pat to those sides. So wiggle to those sides. All right, if you want to stand up for the alternating knee to elbow, you can. I'm going to demo from seated for one more round, and I'll stand up on round 3. Sitting up nice and tall or standing nice and tall. Bring those elbows out to 90 degrees, and then when you're ready, draw the belly in. Bringing that knee up, coming across the body. Anytime we make contact or at least pull the one side towards the other side, it's good for our brain health. It gets the left side of the brain talking to the right side of the brain. Just like babies, when they learn to crawl, they're also learning to have their brain one side talk to the other. And so even as we become adults, it's great to work these, what we call cross crawl patterns. Good. Sitting tall in between each side. Squeeze those shoulders back. Good. Maybe one more time, friends. Up, down, and rest. Whew. All right, shake it out. Making your way back to standing. Squatting is next. If using that chair as assist felt good, feel free to stay with that. I'm going to come to that freestanding position next. Instead of walking those feet out, draw that belly up and in. Start by standing all the way up. Squeeze your tush. Pull those shoulders back. Nice. Keep establishing that tall stance. And then when you're ready, we'll start to sink into those squats. Taking your time to control your hips back and down, driving into the floor. That's where you generate that force out of the legs. The legs push down to the ground. Your eyes stay up and forward. Wonderful. Breathing in as we sink back. Breathing out as we pull up. Good. And sometimes when we focus on sitting to the heels, our toes will start to lift up. So try to push the toes into the floor. I focus on that big toe. Beautiful. That's our 30-second mark. We're going to work for about another 10 seconds or so. Back and down. Driving up. And 2, 1. Resting there. Fantastic. We're getting ready for our dumbbell row coming up next in your left arm. You can either use the same weight or if you want to go a little bit heavier on round 2. All righty. So starting in your left arm, you're going to step the left foot back, draw the stomach in. You can hinge forward as you support your right hand down. You can also rest the hand on your thigh. I'm just demoing with the chair today. And then when you're ready, we'll reach forward, draw that elbow up and in, up and down. Midline strong. Breathe in as you reach forward. Breathe out as you pull that elbow up. In and out. Nice. Keeping that head neutral. 10 more seconds. Fantastic. 2, 1, and pausing there. Standing up in between sides. Kind of loosen up that lower back a little bit. Shifting side to side. And we'll get ready for that second hand. Start here at about 15 seconds. Feels good to loosen up that lower back. All right, making our way back into position. I'm going to kind of be facing away from you a little bit, but we'll go now in your left hand, stomach drawn in. Sorry, your right hand. Supporting on your left, grabbing it with your right. And when you're ready, elbow high, reaching forward, up and back. Good job. Dumbbell rows, fantastic for that horizontal pull, helping those shoulder blades, helping that upper body posture, keeping those shoulder blades living back on the torso and not in that rounded shoulder position that tends to give us tension through the neck and shoulders. Causes a lot of challenges. And 2, 1, go ahead and rest from that. Fantastic. All right, if you are wearing the bands, go ahead and let the air out. I'm going to go ahead and take mine off. And we're going to do that cycle one more time, starting back at seated with our leg extensions. Nice job, everyone. Feel free to grab a drink of water. Take a little bit longer break before this third and final round of this circuit. We'll start here in about 20 seconds. All righty. Good to have you, Shirley. All righty, so leg extensions on your left leg first. Draw the stomach in, lift that foot up, and here we go. Our extensions, bend the knee, extend the knee, up and down. Practice that seated posture. Good. Bend, up and back. We're gonna go 30 seconds on each leg. Waking up that front of the thigh and also a bit on the back of the thigh. As you bend that leg in, you're working the back of the muscle. As you extend, you're working the top muscles. 2, 1, and take a pause there. 10 seconds, we'll start that second leg. And that feels good to give your muscles a little wiggle. Skin and muscles. All right, second leg, final time. Here we go, leg up, kick it out, bend it back. Up and back, kick and extend. Fantastic. Last time through, notice the tendency to start to slouch. Keep thinking about lifting the top of your head towards the ceiling. Breathe. And 2, 1, and rest. Woo! All righty. Let's do a little stretch here from seated before we go into our alternating knee to elbow. So I want to stretch the sides of your body a little bit. Let's take your left hand, grab on or just place it on the outer part of your right knee. If you need to shimmy over to the left part of your chair, you can. And then bow the head down, draw the stomach in, very smooth to slide the hand down that outer leg, just as far as you get like a nice gentle stretch in that outer part of your torso. Breathe a couple of times in that side body position or wherever you feel the most tension in your body. Try to send your breath there to release that tension. And on that next inhale, come on back to seated. Shimmy yourself the other side as needed. Maybe you're on a bench and you've got plenty of space. Again, start by sitting tall, squeezing those shoulders back. And now your right hand, the left leg, chin in, head down, slide it out. And breathing here. 3 to 5 breaths on that side. And then on the next inhale, when you're ready, got a nice stretch of that side body. Come on back to seated here. All right. If your balance is a little bit off, stay in the chair. I'm going to join you in just a second. If anyone wants that extra challenge, I'm going to show you from standing. So we're going to be doing our knee to elbow next. It's a pretty big challenge on the balance to do it standing. But I know some of you are more than capable for an extra challenge. But otherwise, just stay here in the chair. You're still going to get some good benefit. So when we're ready, breathing in, bring those arms up to the side. And then 2, 1, here we go. When we're ready, we're going to start to lift the leg. Draw that stomach in as you slightly bow forward. But more than anything, I'd like to draw the knee up instead of have too much slouching in the upper body. Yeah, nice and smooth. In between each side, take your time to squeeze those shoulders back behind you, and then nice and smooth as we lift up that other leg. Wonderful. Breathing out as you lift the leg up, breathing in as we open. Good, couple more. Final time. And resting there. Good. Either from seated or standing, let's do our little upper body stretch with our apple picking. So we're going to reach our body to one side, pick that apple, pull it into our basket. We're putting our baskets right here underneath our chin. So I'm going to reach for the apple, draw it back to my chest, and then reach over to that other side. Feels wonderful. Stretch through those lats. The lats are those muscles that connect your arm into your torso. They also connect into your lower back muscles. So sometimes it's really beneficial to stretch those out and resting there. All right, friends, coming on up for our last round of squat practice. So drive the legs coming up to standing. You can use the chair if you'd like. I'm going to show with the chair one more time, walking around behind my chair. Slight toe out of the feet. If anybody does want to hold weight for these, you can hold it right underneath the chin. Otherwise, when you're ready, draw the stomach in, find a spot straight ahead to focus on, and then either reach your arms out or hold on with those arms, pushing your hips back like you're trying to reach for a nice low stool, and then squeeze that tush. You come all the way up to standing, sinking on down, lowering back, driving those legs. Fantastic. Down, 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 holding on or reaching out. And then make sure you don't let that chest fall as you're coming up. So fight. Think about like someone's like trying to push yourself down from the top, and you're going to push up against them, like driving your back up. Good job. Down, down, down. Keeping that mobility as best you can through your hips, knees, and ankles. Awesome. Maybe 1 or 2 more. Rolling through that range of motion, coming all the way up. This will be my final time. Down and stand. Woo! Wonderful. Circle through those hips. And then our final exercise of this circuit is our dumbbell row. And then we've got one more series coming up next. Good. All right, so find the weight you'd like to use for your dumbbell row. We're going to start with it in your left hand. Actually, my left hand too. So I'm going to stand right in front of my chair. I'm just going to slightly step my left foot back. Draw that stomach in as I have a long spine, wide handprint supporting on that right hand. And then when you're ready, reaching forward, elbow draws high. Down and up. Breathing in, breathing out. You can add a little pause in the top position. Reinforcing that shoulder blade. Trying to pull it in towards the spine. Good. Breathing as you move. Maybe one more time. And resting there. Set your weight down. Come all the way up to standing in between sides. We're going to do our little tree branch arms. Loosen up that lower back. Just let the arms and the body flow. Imagine that you're a tree out in nature. We've got a palm tree behind us. You know that palm trees are actually just large pieces of grass is what my husband was explaining to me. I'm like, what? They're not trees. They're in the grass family. I haven't looked it up to find the accuracy of that, but it's kind of interesting. All right, let's get ready to finish out these dumbbell rows. We're gonna go in your right arm, starting in about 15 seconds. I'll swing it around so you can see a little bit better. So with the weight in your right hand, little stagger step with the right foot back, long spine, you send those hips back, supporting on your chair or tabletop. And when we're ready, here we go. Final time, up and down. Horizontal rows. It's really key to keep our back strong, both our low back and also that mid back. Mid back is a big proponent of our upper body posture. Good job, about 10 seconds left. We're going just a little bit longer on this final interval. Breathing as you move, keeping that motion through the shoulder and resting there. Nice work. Come back to standing. Clear our space a little bit. We're going to grab a drink. We're going to do a little bit of stretching, and we have one more series coming up next. All right. The first stretch I'm going to do, I'm going to use the back of the chair. You can also place your hands against the wall, or you could use a countertop. Now walk the feet back, draw the stomach in with a little baby bend in my knees. I'm going to reach my hands straight out about the height of my chest, torso, and now I'm going to walk my feet back a little bit farther, keep that little bend in the knees, still drawing my stomach in. I'm going to lower my head right between the arms. And now here we're going to focus on the breathing in to the back of the rib cage, kind of coming up out of the stretch. And then as you breathe out, see if you can gently guide your heart a little bit closer to the floor. Nice and smooth. Breathing into the back of the body. As you breathe out, see if you can go into that stretch a bit more. Maybe one more time. Really good opening through that mid back. Stretches the back of the body as well. As you're ready, making your way back to standing, all the way up to seated. Very good. All right. It's pretty simple final circuit. We're going to go for 3 rounds. On this first round, I'm going to have everybody go unweighted, and we're going to practice our hinging motion of a good morning. On the second and third round, we'll start to introduce some weights as you choose, working on a deadlift, picking something up off the ground. So when you're ready, go ahead and walk your feet right about hip width apart. On our squats, we tend to do a little bit of a toe out. Now I want you to check with your feet to make sure they're pointing forward. Tuck those hips under you, draw the stomach in, and now we're going to cross the arms over the shoulders. With that little bend of the knees, as I send my hips back, I'm going to raise my arms up and bow my chest forward. We call it a good morning. You bow down, and then either until your chest comes parallel to the ground or until you feel a little stretch in those hamstrings, then you stand tall. Breathing in, push those hips back, maintain that bend to the knees as you bow down, and then drive through the legs, standing all the way up. Wonderful. Breathing in, hips back. Breathing out, standing tall. Good. A few more times. Long spine, over and up. Last one. Breathing in, keeping that mid back nice and strong, and all the way out from there. Wonderful. All right, and then our last exercise is a march. If you want to hold weights in your hand, you can. On this first round, we haven't done any regular marching yet today, so I'm just going to march my body without any weight here. So if you want to join me, and we're trying to cycle the opposite leg with the opposite hand. So just nice and smooth, swing through the arms, lift the feet up and down. Wonderful. Good. And then based upon your comfort, you can look to lift the knees a little bit higher. You need to slow it down a little bit to do so, but getting that high knee lift. Fantastic. Strong breathing, keeping that heart strong. Good. Let's go 10 more seconds here. Eyes up. And I'm going to be demoing with weights in the last few rounds, last 2 rounds. 2, 1, and rest. Woo! All right. Let's take a short rest in the chair for some stretching, and then we'll come back for the second round. So sit on down for a second. We're going to repeat that seated forward fold. On the edge of the chair, we did it earlier in the hour. Draw the stomach in, hands on the thighs, chin to the chest, and then we're going to just slide down the shins. You can kind of grab onto those shins as soon as you start to feel that stretch. Breathe a couple of times there. If your body feels like it relaxes a little bit more, you can let go of the grab on the shins and slide the hands a bit farther. I'm really big on not forcing your stretching and not having stretching be painful. We want to just gently encourage the body into new ranges of motion or to establish that distance and those motions. When you're ready, start to walk those hands up the legs, coming back to seated. Take a moment here, kind of get the blood back in your head, or let the blood drain out of your head, I should say. And then when you feel ready, go ahead and make your way back to standing. Now we did those good mornings on round one. If you feel like you can hold some lighter weights or one moderate weight, we'll start to work a deadlift, which just means moving a dead weight, stationary object. So it'd be like picking up your laundry basket off the ground would be considered a deadlift. So I've got my dumbbell here. I'm going to start with one dumbbell on this round. I'm going to hold it right between my thighs. I'm going to walk my feet just a little bit wider. Draw the stomach in so we're not in a sway back posture. And with that little bend in the knees, when you're ready, you're going to squeeze your shoulders back. And now just like that good morning, but with the hands in front of the body, I'm going to send my hips back, lowering that weight down. Only go to the floor if you feel like you're comfortable with that full range. Otherwise, just keep it close to the inner thighs. Bring it right about knee height with the hands, and then push through the legs and standing back up. Good job. Breathing in, controlling down, feet firmly planted, and then smooth the stand. Awesome. Chin in, looking down towards the floor as you bow forward. And then as you come all the way to standing, squeeze the tush, squeeze those shoulders, practice that tall posture. Maybe one more time. Bowing down, chin in, looking down, and then drive the legs, squeeze the booty, stand all the way up, and resting there. Good job. Set that weight to the side. For the march, I'm going to pick up a little bit lighter weights. So now we call this a farmer's march. You can just imagine you're a farmer and you got to carry some water pails, or just to mimic like carrying grocery bags. Hands at the side and marching here. If anybody has lighter weights, if you want more of a challenge, you can bring your weights up to your shoulders and march with the weights up on the shoulders. I'm going to hold them at the sides here. And then for posture, instead of like having those weights pull us forward, with or without weights, squeeze the shoulders back, turn the palms forward. I talk with my mother-in-law a lot about this, where when she walks with her friend, they walk for several miles sometimes. And I've seen them out before. They start to get tired when they're near the end of the walk and everything's drawn forward. So even if you're not exercising, pay attention when you walk. If you can just turn your palms forward, it's going to draw your shoulders back. It's going to help you to stand a little bit taller. So we're practicing that here. Couple more seconds. And take that pause. Fantastic. Set your weights down. And next, we're going to stretch the upper body a little bit. So if you have a doorway that you can utilize, we're not quite done, but I'm just going to turn the camera over. I'm going to use this post right here. So I'd like you to open up through your chest. When we have that forward posture, our pecs, these muscles in the front of the chest can get tight. So we can use a post, use a doorway, even anchor your arm on the wall to open. So I'm going to bring my elbow up to about 90 degrees, draw my ribs down, step that inside leg forward, and now lean into it without arching back. So looking to just get a little stretch in the front of the chest. And then you take your outer arm, reach it out to the side, turn your head and neck as you look over that shoulder, still leaning into the front of the chest. And with that head looking over the other shoulder, let's breathe twice more here. And gently unwind. Unwind and then shimmy around. Same thing on the second arm. So I'm going to anchor that forearm against the wall. Inside leg steps forward. No sway back posture. Ribs down. Lean into it. And then circle out. Turning the head and neck. And then breathe. Good. When you're ready, coming out of that side, walking that foot back in, feel free if you want to grab a drink of water, and then we're going to go through that series one more time with the deadlift and the march. Then we'll have our cool down stretch. Almost done. So if you have two weights that you're going to hold for the deadlift, so maybe the weights that I was marching with earlier, instead of holding, I could hold them between my legs. It's a little bit more awkward when you're holding two weights between the legs. So instead, I prefer to take it to the outer part of the legs, walking my feet in a little bit more narrow, toes forward. Make sure you draw that stomach in so your hips are tucked under you. And then when you're ready, squeeze the shoulders back, baby bend in those knees. And now I'm thinking about pushing my hips back, like I'm trying to touch my tush to the chair behind me. Same idea as far as your distance, depending upon your flexibility through the hamstrings. Keeping the hands closed, you can bring the hands right about to the knee height, maybe mid-shin, but really key, I want you to stand all the way up at the top, head stacked over the shoulders, shoulders stacked over the hips, and then gradually making your way back down. Chin in, looking down, pushing through the legs, breathing out, standing tall, squeeze the tush. Good. 20 more seconds. If you need to rest before we hit that minute mark, by all means, just giving us a little extra challenge to finish with, practicing these motions just a bit more, maybe one or two more. Long spine, controlling down, and then power through those legs, pushing through, squeeze the tush, squeeze those shoulders, and rest. Good job. Shake out the arms. Getting ready for that final march. I'm going to be holding those same weights. So after you shake out that grip, go ahead and pick them back up. Remember, we don't want to be pulled forward. Squeeze those shoulders back, turn your palms forward. And when you're ready, here's our final march. You get a march in one spot. Sometimes that's the safest option, less likely to trip on anything. Other than my own 2 feet, which I've done plenty of times. Or you can walk it out. If you want to move around your space. As you're marching here, keep lifting your head up tall to the sky, like you got a nice little friend, improving your posture, improving your height. Fantastic. Check in with your shoulders. Are your palms still forward? Shoulders still squeezing back. Fantastic. Final 10 seconds, everyone. Nice and light, nice and steady. 3, 2, 1, and everybody rest. Woo! Nice work. Let's grab that water. No matter what time of year it is in your world, we need water. Hydration, big part of our overall health. Alrighty. And then let's come to seated. Nice job today. We didn't do a whole lot of overhead work today because we did it earlier in the week, but I do want to give you a couple stretches so we keep those shoulders open. So as we sit tall, if you want to mirror me, take your right hand straight up, reach up towards the sky best you can, and see if you draw forward there. Try to stay up, chin in, bend that elbow behind the head. And then if you can, reach around, grabbing that elbow, try to pull that hand back. Good. And we're just going to stay tall here. As you breathe in, I want you to pull your chin in like you're trying to make a triple chin. Keep the ribs tucked down. Come the garbage bin. You can hear the noise in the background. When you're ready, go ahead and release this arm. Set it on down in between sides. Let's give that upper body a break, and we're going to repeat that forward fold a third and final time. Chin in, hands slide down. Now breathe into the back of your body. And then when you're ready, walking yourself back up, and then we'll balance out that upper body with that second arm. So sitting up as tall as you can to start. Remember to retract that chin back and in. Left arm reaches straight up in the air. Good, bending that elbow. Reach that opposite arm around best you can. Good, we'll So 20 seconds here. As you breathe in, continue to lengthen through that spine, drawing the top of your head up towards the sky. And as you breathe out, try to maintain that posture as you relax your body just a little bit. And when you're ready, go ahead and release those arms. Woo, fantastic. All right, figure 4 hip stretch. Take the hands, pick one foot up, interlace in front of the shin, look to cross that foot over the other leg. And then if you can grab that foot, you're gonna pull it up a little higher. Sit up tall in the chair, and then, might be up here, that's okay, wherever it is. Just invite that knee to lower down. Take the foot of that side on the thigh, draw the foot and toes back towards the knee on that side. Squeeze the shoulders back. And then I invite you, just give your eyes a break from staring at the screens. Close your eyes and focus on feeling into your body. Feeling the rise and fall of your chest as you breathe. At this point in the session, you might have a little bit more awareness of your heartbeat. Try to remember all the miraculous things that our body does. Our society does not remind us of our body's miracles. We tend to be trained to focus on our insecurities. Tends to spur our need to consume more. Want to relax that foot coming out of that stretch. And consume more, I just mean like buy more stuff. I know when I've felt worse about my body in my life is when I've spent most of my money on my clothing instead of just taking care of my body back in my 20s. Back in the day, pick it on up, cross that foot over. And there's been other times as well. Rest that hand down. And now take that foot. Remember to draw it back towards that knee. Feel how it opens up that hip. Lifting up tall, draw that chin in, and then just see if you can relax the eyes and breathe. Our body is miraculous in that it keeps our heart beating, it keeps all of our organs functioning the best it can while we just go about our days. And then so often we kind of tend to, a lot of us, including myself, sometimes we're critical of our bodies. So we really want to lean into that love for our bodies. Talk to ourselves nicely, be our own friend instead of our own enemy. Wouldn't that be nice? All a process. All right, making your way out of that. And then we're gonna finish a couple more. I like to get a little bit more rotation through your mid back and spine. So we're gonna do our seated rotations. Let's start with your left hand, bringing the hand behind the head, drawing that elbow back so you open through the chest once more. And now breathing in, coming over towards the opposite side. And then take your right hand on that inner side of your right knee and then turn towards your left, gently pushing into that right knee as you draw that left elbow back as far as you can. Good, coming out of that, breathing in nice and deep as you bring that elbow back towards the opposite knee. Sitting as tall as you can as you pivot. Try to pause in that open position, maybe pause for a nice full breath. And then on the next inhale, back for number 3, down. Sitting tall, rotating, getting some good motion all the way through the spine. Pause to open. 2 more times. Breathing in, lower down, sitting tall, breathing out on that pivot. Last one. And release. Same thing, second side. Hand behind the head, draw that elbow back, and then when you're ready, breathing in, coming on over, sitting tall as we breathe out. 5 times total. Totally appropriate to pause for 1 full breath in that open position. And then on your second inhale, coming down, coming back up. Rotate through that head and neck. Maybe just a nice, gentle smile. You can think about something that brings you joy, maybe a favorite friend, family member, maybe a funny moment. Good. 1 or 2 more. I lost track. And release. Beautiful. All right, if you want to sit back in your chair just a little bit, I'd like to still have your feet flat on the ground if you can reach. I know I'm a little bit shorter, so the farther back in my chair, the more I lose my feet. We're gonna finish a little bit differently today. So we're gonna do our normal breaths together, and then I'm just gonna invite you after we do our 3 breaths together to sit tall. You can rest your hands either on your legs, or if you want to bring in one hand on the area of your heart, one hand on the area of your belly. And I'm just gonna invite you into a little bit of a moment of stillness, and I've got a little chime I'm gonna play for the last minute or so together. All right, so all together now, we're gonna bring the hands together in front of the heart. If you can reach up to overhead as you breathe in, reach on up. You can shrug the shoulders up as able. And then as you breathe out, try to release any stress, tension, relax those shoulders down. Fantastic. Twice more. Close those eyes if you feel comfortable. Nice deep breath in, lengthen, reaching up, and then breathing out. Final time, friends. Breathing in. Let's breathe in some positive energy. Think about some feelings of love, feelings of peace and gratitude. Release all the stress. All righty. You can either rest the hands on your thighs or rest the hands on the front of the chest. Just take a moment to be still. Get a little chime here. So many things that go into being vital. We need to move our body to be vital, but they are also finding more and more as our world seems to just keep getting busier, that we also need stillness. We need to practice peace. So whether you have a practice of prayer, meditation, going out and enjoying nature, it's all kind of part of our self-care. So thank you all for our time together. This is our last session before we have a little pause on this series of our live sessions. So thank you all for the time we've had together, and I hope to move with you again soon. Stay vital, and remember, life's meant to be enjoyed, so I invite you to do something fun today.